Dear friends, crowds feature in many of the stories of Jesus. Crowds listening to him preach, crowds following him and ending up hungry, crowds waving palm branches, and crowds calling for the release of Barabbas, not Jesus. There are healings that occur when a crowd is pressing around Jesus, hanging on every word, and Jesus sees past these crowds to the person who is in need. A woman who has been bleeding for many years sneaks through the crowd just to touch the cloak of Jesus. She is healed. Jesus senses this and seeks out the woman in the crowd. Another crowd is pressing around Jesus while a blind beggar cries at the side of the road. The crowd tell Bartimaeus, "Be quiet, Jesus isn't interested in you." Yet Jesus is. He stops and asks Barabbas, "What do you want me to do for you?" Despite what those shouting loudest think, or those jostling closest to him, Jesus sees past the immediate crowd to the people in need. We have learnt this week that the government is planning to allow worship to take place in church buildings from the beginning of July. And many people are excited at the thought of coming back to church. However, the path to opening our churches is not as simple as just unlocking our doors, and worship itself will not be what we were used to before lockdown. As Methodists, we will wait on the advice of the Methodist Church in response to the government guidelines. As Methodist Conference is currently meeting, the earliest that we will get this advice is in the middle of next week. We will need to prepare our buildings properly before they can open. We will need to ensure that we have the proper procedures for entering and exiting the building, and ensure a robust cleaning programme and allow enough time in between people using the premises and the next people who will use it. We will also ensure, or need to ensure, that we have a detailed risk assessment. Worship itself will be different, as we will have to be socially distant and singing is not allowed. After the advice from the Methodist Church is published, the circuit leadership team will meet and discuss what this means for our circuit. Then we will hold meetings with stewards and treasurers and property secretaries in each church, and together we will plan for what will be a phased return. In reality, it may be a while before we return. This will come as a disappointment for many, but we need to appreciate why we are not rushing back. Jesus' concern for those in need meant that he stopped and took time to care and heal. To return carefully and only when we are sure that we have reduced the risks as much as possible is to care for those in need and to look after each other. To follow Jesus' example and to love our neighbour. Amen.